Listen carefully because what I'm about to tell you has the power to change the entire direction of your emotional life. If you master these steps, no insult will shake you, no criticism will sting you, and no person will ever have control over your peace again. Control begins within. That's where all power lives and where all chaos dies. You will never master the world outside until you have mastered the world inside. Every moment of your life is either ruled by your emotions or directed by your decisions. The difference between the powerful and the powerless is not what happens to them. It's how they handle what happens. When you lose control of your mind, you lose control of your life. People who offend you, frustrate you, or try to humiliate you, they are not your problem. They are just tests. Tests designed to reveal how much control you truly have over yourself. Anyone can stay calm when the road is smooth, but control is proven in storms, not sunshine. It's easy to talk about peace. It's another thing to remain peaceful when the world pokes at your patience. Every word that triggers you exposes the weakness you still need to fix. Every person that disturbs your calm is a mirror showing you where your discipline is missing. Don't hate the mirror, use it. The truth is, your emotions don't belong to anyone else. They belong to you. No one can make you angry without your consent. No one can make you feel small unless you agree to it. You are not a puppet controlled by people's actions. You are the master who chooses whether to react or rise above. The greatest prison is emotional slavery, when you give others the power to dictate how you feel. When you let someone's words, opinions, or disrespect decide your mood, you hand them the keys to your peace. Take those keys back. You are not here to be emotionally manipulated. You are here to command yourself. The moment you stop blaming others for your feelings, you become unstoppable. Control doesn't mean you suppress emotion. It means you direct it. Anger, pain, disappointment, they're all signals, not commands. You don't have to obey every emotional impulse. You can acknowledge it, learn from it, and still choose calm. Real control is not coldness, it's consciousness. It's knowing when to move, when to wait, when to speak, and when to remain silent. That's how strong people operate. They don't explode, they evaluate. Understand this, no one ruins your day. You do by allowing it. No insult can break you unless you accept it as truth. No rejection can crush you unless you let it define you. The one who controls himself is always in power, even when everything else collapses. That's why the strongest people walk through storms with steady eyes and quiet confidence. They're not emotionless, they're focused. They know their energy is sacred, and they refuse to waste it on things that don't build them. Control begins with awareness. Watch your thoughts, because your thoughts become emotions. Watch your ions, because they become actions. Watch your actions, because they become habits. And watch your habits, because they become your destiny. The man who controls his inner world controls his fate. The one who doesn't becomes a slave to circumstance. When someone tries to provoke you, don't fall for it. The second you react emotionally, you play their game on their terms. Instead, pause, breathe, let silence do the talking. That pause is your power. That moment between stimulus and response, that's where your freedom lives. The man who can pause can rule himself. The one who can't is ruled by others. Life will always test your control. The world will never stop challenging you. But every challenge is an invitation to grow, not an excuse to lose yourself. The goal is not to avoid storms, it's to remain unshaken inside them. Be calm in chaos, be focused in noise, be grounded when others lose balance, because when you control your inner world, no outer world can conquer you. Control begins within and ends with victory over self. The moment you master your emotions, your reactions, your energy, you become untouchable. You stop chasing peace and start creating it. You stop demanding respect and start embodying it. You won't need to shout. You won't need to prove. Your calm will speak louder than your words. Your silence will intimidate the noise. That's the essence of true power, not control over others, but mastery over yourself. because when you control what happens within, no one can shake what stands without. Control begins within. Remember that. It's not just a statement, it's a command to your soul. Train your mind, discipline your emotions, protect your peace. And when the world tries to disturb you, smile, because nothing can touch a person who has already conquered himself. Detach from reactions. That's the art of true power, the ability to feel everything yet be controlled by nothing. Most people don't live their lives, they react to them. They let every word ever, why insult, every inconvenience pull them into emotional chaos. One comment ruins their mood. One delay ruins their day. They become slaves to triggers they don't even understand. But if you want real control, if you want lasting peace, you must learn the discipline of detachment. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop bleeding energy on things that don't deserve it. It means you see life as it is, not as your emotions paint it. When someone disrespects you, you don't lose yourself trying to fight for validation. When plans fall apart, you don't collapse in frustration. You stay centered, calm, focused, because you understand that your reaction is always your responsibility, never their fault. Every time you react emotionally, you surrender power. You hand the keys of your inner world to someone else. They push a button and you dance. They say a word and you burn. They control your peace without even knowing it. That's not strength, that's submission. Power begins. When you take those keys back, when you decide that no one, no situation, no insult has the right to control your emotions. Detachment is not coldness, it's clarity. It's looking at chaos and saying, see you, but you don't own me. It's refusing to let temporary emotions destroy permanent purpose. When you detach from reactions, you don't stop feeling. You start choosing what's worth feeling for. You stop wasting emotional energy on what doesn't matter, and you start investing it into what builds your destiny. Understand this, life will constantly provoke you. People will test your patience. Circumstances will shake your confidence. But every moment is a lesson. Every irritation is an opportunity to train your emotional discipline. When you feel the urge to react, pause. Don't let impulse make decisions your wisdom will regret. Detachment is the gap between what happens and how you respond. It's the strength to stand still when your emotions demand war. Learn to observe without absorbing. That's the secret. Observe the insult without letting it stain your mind. Observe the disappointment without letting it kill your drive. Observe the chaos without becoming part of it, because every reaction costs energy, and energy is your most valuable currency. Spend it wisely. Don't waste it on proving points, chasing validation, or arguing with ignorance. A king doesn't wrestle with clowns. When you detach from reactions, you start to see life through a higher lens. You realize that people's words reflect their state of mind, not your worth. You realize that every outburst, every rude behavior, every attack says more about them than about you. So why respond with anger when understanding exposes their weakness? Why give energy to the noise when silence declares your strength louder than words ever could? Every moment you refuse to react, you win, because silence confuses the weak and empowers the wise. The one who can stay calm in chaos becomes the leader of the room. You no longer operate from emotion. You operate from awareness. You choose peace over pettiness, power over impulse, focus over fury. That's the mindset of mastery. Detachment is emotional discipline in motion. It's training your mind to see everything, feel everything, but respond to nothing that doesn't serve your higher purpose. It's being in control of your energy the same way a warrior controls his weapon, never used carelessly, never wasted aimlessly. The man who reacts loses. The man who responds strategically, consciously, always wins. And here's the truth. The people who try to bother you want your reaction. They feed on it. They grow when you get angry, when you lose focus, when you start defending yourself. But when you don't react, when you remain still, composed, untouchable, you starve them. Nothing confuses the weak more than calm confidence. Your detachment becomes your defense. Your silence becomes your shield. So stop trying to control others. Control yourself. Saint, trying to fix what they think of you. Fix what you think when they act against you. Stop wasting your fire on battles that don't matter. Save it for the war that defines you, the war within. That's where victory begins. When you detach from reactions, you step into freedom. You no longer move because someone pushed you. You move because you chose to. You stop being emotionally hijacked by opinions, delays, or failures. You become unshakable, unstoppable, untouchable, because now your emotions serve you. You don't serve them. Detachment is not weakness, it's wisdom. It's emotional intelligence in its highest form. It's knowing that peace is more valuable than proving a point. It's realizing that not every comment deserves your attention, not every situation deserves your energy, and not every person deserves your reaction. Detach from reactions, and you'll discover a new kind of strength, the quiet kind, the kind that doesn't need validation, doesn't need revenge, doesn't need recognition, the kind that simply is. Because when you no longer react to everything around you, you finally connect with the power within you. So stand tall, let others talk, let them doubt, let them misunderstand. You stay focused, stay calm, stay detached, because the one who controls his reaction controls his reality, and the one who controls his reality controls his destiny. Silence over speech. That is the mark of real strength, the language of true power. The weak rush to speak, the wise wait. The loud seek attention, the silent command it. Words are cheap, noise is endless, but silence is sacred. It's in silence that your mind sharpens, your instincts awaken, and your presence begins to speak louder than any sentence ever could. Most people destroy their power by talking too much. They reveal their plans, expose their emotions, and scatter their energy in meaningless words. They think speaking makes them appear strong, but the more they speak, the more they give away control. You can't command respect when you can't command your tongue. Silence is self-mastery in motion. The one who can hold his words can hold his world. When you choose silence over speech, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is power. People can't read what you don't reveal. They can't prepare for moves they can't see coming. That mystery builds authority. It forces others to watch you instead of talk over you. The more silent you are, the more others project strength onto you. Because silence has weight and people respect what carries weight. Understand this truth. Speech often comes from insecurity. The loud explain because they need to be understood. The strong stay silent because they understand themselves. You don't need to justify, argue, or convince when you know your value. Let the results speak, not your mouth. Words fade, but results echo. Every time you hold your silence when others expect noise, you elevate yourself to a higher level of control. Silence ISN. Emptiness, it's focus. It's the ability to hear what most people miss. When you are silent, you observe. You learn. You see what words hide. You begin to understand people's intentions, not just their language. The talker gives away secrets. The listener gathers them. The quiet one in the room is always the most dangerous, because while others are speaking, he's calculating. There's wisdom in restraint. Every time you resist the urge to defend yourself, to argue, to explain, you gain strength. You protect your energy. Because every argument costs peace, and every unnecessary word drains power. The greatest warriors don't fight every battle. They choose the ones that matter. The same law applies to speech. Speak only when your words carry the force to shift. A room in silence, people feel your energy. When you walk with calm confidence, people notice without you saying a word. Let your stillness speak. Let your control intimidate, because the man who doesn't rush to respond always controls the conversation. In moments of provocation, silence is your weapon. When someone disrespects you, stay quiet. Don't feed them your energy. Nothing frustrates the weak more than a strong person who won't react. Your calm is their confusion. Your restraint is their defeat. When you stay silent, you show them that their words hold no power. That's how you dominate without saying a single thing. But silence isn't just for conflict. It's for creation. When you stop filling every moment with noise, you start hearing your own thoughts clearly. You begin to hear ideas, inspiration, and intuition that only emerge in stillness. Great visions are born in silence, not in chaos. Every great thinker, every great leader, every great creator has known the value of wit, drawing from the noise to listen to the voice within. The modern world fears silence because it reveals truth. That's why everyone keeps talking, posting, arguing, to drown out the noise inside themselves. But you, if you want to rise above the ordinary, must learn to sit in silence and face yourself. That's where discipline grows. That's where purpose becomes clear. When you can be comfortable with silence, you no longer need the approval of noise. The tongue is a double-edged sword. It can build empires or burn them to ashes. One careless word can destroy trust, ruin peace, or expose weakness. So guard your tongue like a weapon. Don't use it recklessly. Speak only when your words carry precision and purpose. Because silence keeps your power concentrated, every word spoken should be a calculated release of that power, not a leak. People reveal themselves by how much they speak. The undisciplined talk to fill the void. The disciplined talk to fill the world with direction. You can. Measure someone's strength by the distance between their emotions and their mouth. The shorter that distance, the weaker they are. The longer they can hold silence before speaking, the stronger their command over self. Silence is not a lack of communication. It's the highest form of it. It says, "Indeed, I don't need to prove. I don't need to beg. I don't need to explain." It tells the world that your peace is not up for negotiation. It tells your enemies that their noise doesn't reach you. And it tells your mind that you are in charge. So practice the art of holding back. Let others speak first. Let them expose their thoughts, their weaknesses, their intentions. You just listen, observe, learn. Then, when the time comes to speak, every word you release will carry the weight of truth, timing, and power. That's what separates leaders from followers. Restraint before response. Silence over speech, not because you fear expression, but because you've mastered it, because you understand that our voice carries more force when used sparingly, because you know that in a world full of noise, silence is the rarest and strongest sound. Stay quiet. Let your results roar. Let your actions speak. Let your calm break their chaos. Because those who control their words control their world, and those who rule their silence rule themselves. See lessons, not insults. That is the mindset of the unshakable. The difference between the weak and the wise lies in perception. The weak feel attacked, the wise see instruction. Every insult, every criticism, every rejection carries a hidden message, a silent opportunity to strengthen your mind. Life does not send you enemies to destroy you. It sends you mirrors to expose you. What offends you reveals what you still need to master. What angers you shows you where you still lack control. If you can learn instead of react, you will rise while others drown in emotion. People will insult you, they'll doubt you, mock you, underestimate you. That's infightable. But the greatest mistake you can make is to take it personally. When you take things personally, you hand your emotions to the very people trying to break you. You let their words occupy your peace. You start living in reaction instead of purpose. That's what they want, for you to lose focus, to lose discipline, to prove them right through anger. But you must be wiser than that. When someone disrespects you, don't rush to defend yourself. Observe. Ask, what is this trying to teach me? Maybe it's patience, maybe it's humility, maybe it's resilience. Every negative moment is a disguised training session for your strength. Life doesn't shape you with comfort, it shapes you through conflict. The one who complains misses the lesson. The one who learns becomes untouchable. Your greatest growth often hides behind your greatest irritation. Every insult has two paths, reaction or reflection. Most people choose reaction. They argue, shout, prove, explain, but that only proves the I. Salt worked. The wise choose reflection. They pause, analyze, and extract the lesson. They grow stronger without saying a word. Silence becomes their weapon. Growth becomes their revenge. Understand this, no insult defines you unless you accept it as truth. If someone calls you weak, it's only an insult if you believe it. If you know your strength, their words lose meaning. An insult only sticks where there is insecurity. So when words sting, don't curse the speaker, fix the wound. Ask yourself why it bothered you. What fear did it touch? What ego did it challenge? That's where your next level of growth lives. See, the universe uses opposition to train warriors. The more pressure, the stronger the blade. Every critic, every insult, every challenge is sharpening your character. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. Life tests you not to break you, but to build endurance. The wise don't fear judgment, they use it. They turn criticism into clarity and pain into power. That's what separates those who rise from those who retreat. You must understand that people only attack what threatens them. When you rise, you become a mirror for others' insecurities. Your progress reminds them of what they're not doing, so they insult you to protect their ego. Don't respond with anger, that's what they want. Respond with silence and focus. Let your consistency prove them wrong. Let your success teach the lesson they refuse to learn. When you stop seeing insults and start seeing lessons, you become mentally bulletproof. Nothing can shake you because everything teaches you. You stop fearing negativity because you know every attack feeds your evolution. Every rejection refines your direction. Every failure polishes your strength. Pain stops being personal and becomes purposeful. That's when life bends to your will. Control your interpretation, and you control your reality. The insult itself is powerless. Your interpretation gives it life. Two people can hear the same criticism. One breaks, the other builds. The words didn't change. The mindset did. The powerful don't ask, why did this happen to me? They ask, what is this showing me? That single shift in thinking turns pain into fuel. You can't avoid insults, but you can transform them. Let every disrespect remind you of your mission. Let every insult remind you that your energy is too valuable to waste on noise. Let every critic become your motivation to improve so deeply that they disappear in your progress. When you keep learning, the world can't defeat you. It can only develop you. Think of it like fire. The same flame that burns wood also strengthens steel. The difference is in the material. Be steel. Let insults forge you, not consume you. Every harsh word is heat. Use it to harden your resolve. When people try to tear you down, thank them silently. They've just given you another chance to rise higher. One day, those who insulted you will watch you win. They'll remember what they said, and you'll remember how you stayed silent. That silence will be your victory speech. You didn't waste time reacting, you spent time improving. That's how champions move. They don't fight every opinion, they outgrow them. See lessons, not insults, because the world is a classroom disguised as chaos. Every comment, every rejection, every doubt is a hidden assignment for your soul. If you ignore it, you repeat it. If you learn from it, you ascend. Life will keep testing your emotional maturity until you stop reacting and start understanding. So the next time someone throws an insult your way, don't respond with anger, respond with awareness. Smile quietly. You just found another lesson, another weakness revealed, another opportunity to grow. That's how you become unstoppable. Because when you stop seeing enemies and start seeing educators, nothing can offend you, and no one can control you. See lessons, not insults, and watch how fast your peace becomes your power. Guard your mental gates, because your mind is the fortress that protects your peace, your power, and your destiny. Everything you allow inside that fortress, every thought, every word, every image, shapes the person you become. Most people lose the battle for success not because they lack strength, but because they let anything and anyone walk freely into their mind. They leave the gates open. They let negativity, doubt, gossip, and fear slip in quietly and poison their focus. You can't build an empire with an unguarded mind. The enemy isn't outside, it's what you've allowed inside. Your thoughts are the architects of your life. What you think repeatedly becomes what you believe. What you believe becomes how you act, and how you act builds your reality. If your mind is filled with noise, comparison, and self-doubt, you will never see clearly. You can't expect peace when you feed your brain chaos. You can't expect strength when you allow weakness to whisper in your ear all day. The content you consume, the conversations you entertain, the people you listen to, they are all either building your fortress or breaking it down brick by brick. Guarding your mental gates means taking full control over what gets your attention. Because attention is energy, and energy is life. Every time you give your attention to gossip, you lose focus. Every time you give your attention to fear, you lose courage. Every time you give your attention to distraction, you lose direction. Discipline is not just about action, it's about attention. You become what you repeatedly allow to enter your mind. If someone came to your home carrying garbage, you would never let them dump it in your living room. So why do you allow people to dump their negativity into your mind? Why do you scroll through endless noise, arguments, and drama, and then wonder why you feel drained? The world is trying to occupy your thoughts, to keep you angry, reactive, distracted. But if you want to rise, you must learn to close the gates. You must. Decide what deserves space in your mind and what does not. Every morning you open those gates. You decide what enters. The news you watch, the people you follow, the music you listen to, the conversations you engage in, each one is either sharpening your sword or dulling it. So be ruthless with your focus. Protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. The quality of your life is the reflection of the quality of your thoughts. Negative people are mental thieves. They steal your calm and replace it with noise. Every complaint they share, every drama they spread, every word of doubt they whisper, they are testing your gates. Don't let them in. Distance yourself from those who drain you. You can love people without giving them access to your peace. Protect your environment like a warrior protects his weapon. You can't stay sharp if you live surrounded by rust. Guarding your mental gates also means guarding your self-talk. The loudest voice you'll ever hear is the one in your head. What you say to yourself, especially when you're alone, determines how high you'll climb. Stop letting your mind feed you lies about what you can't do. Replace an I can't with an I will. Replace a not enough with an I'm still growing. The words you speak inside your mind either build a prison or a palace. Choose wisely. Understand this. Focus is the modern superpower. The world is built to distract you, to keep you scrolling, reacting, and comparing. But when you discipline your mind to reject noise and stay locked on purpose, you become unstoppable. While others waste their energy on drama, you'll be building your destiny in silence. While they feed their minds with entertainment, you'll feed yours with education. The difference shows not in days, but in decades. Guarding your mental gates means practicing mental fasting. Just like the body needs detox, the mind does too. Spend time in silence. Turn off the noise. Walk alone. Reflect. Think deeply. Let your mind breathe. Can't hear your own thoughts when the world keeps shouting. Silence isn't emptiness. It's clarity. It's in those quiet moments that ideas form, vision grows, and direction becomes clear. Protecting your mind also means filtering your emotions. Don't let anger become your teacher. Don't let fear become your compass. Feel them, but don't feed them. Emotions are signals, not commands. A guarded mind listens to them, but never bows to them. When you can observe your thoughts without letting them control you, you've reached mastery. And remember this, the people who control your attention control your life. Advertisers, critics, toxic voices, they all want one thing, your focus, because once they have your focus, they can shape your thinking. Don't give it away so easily. Focus is sacred. Give it only to the things that align with your purpose, your growth, and your peace. Guard your mental gates like a soldier at the border. No one enters without permission. No negativity, no self-doubt, fear. Let only discipline, gratitude, and vision walk in, because what you allow inside will eventually grow roots, and those roots will shape your future. When your mind is clean, your spirit becomes strong. When your mind is focused, your life gains direction. When your mind is protected, peace becomes permanent. The storms outside can't shake a fortress built from within. So build your walls of discipline high. Strengthen your gates with awareness, and post silence as your watchman, because the world is full of noise, but only those who guard their minds can hear the voice of purpose beneath it all. Guard your mental gates, because the moment you lose control of your mind, you lose control of your life. But the moment you master it, nothing and no one can break you again. Train your mind daily, because the mind is like a muscle. If you don't train it, it weakens. If you don't guide it, it controls you. Every day you are either building mental strength or feeding mental weakness. The average person trains their body, chases money, and works for comfort. But they forget the most powerful weapon they own, their mind. The untrained mind is the source of chaos, doubt, and defeat. The trained mind is the foundation of power, peace, and victory. Your mind decides everything: how you think, how you react, how you see yourself, and how you respond to life. It can either be your best friend or your greatest enemy. And like every weapon, it becomes dangerous in the wrong hands, especially when those hands are your own. If you don't discipline your thoughts, they will discipline you. That's why training the mind daily is not optional, it's survival. Every thought you allow becomes a seed. Negative thoughts grow into fear. Fear grows into hesitation. Hesitation becomes regret. But positive thoughts, strength, courage, gratitude, grow into action, confidence, and growth. What you plant repeatedly becomes your reality. So guard what you think, because you can't live a strong life with a weak mindset. You can't build peace from a foundation of chaos. Training your mind begins the moment you wake up. Before the world touches you, you must touch your own thoughts. Set your direction before distractions arrive. Speak strength before the noise begins. Remind yourself who you are, what you stand for, and what you're building. Because if you don't command your mind in the morning, the world will command it for you. The strongest warriors win their battles before they even step outside, in their thoughts. Training the mind means feeding it the right input. What you watch, read, and listen to becomes your mental diet. If you feed your mind with gossip, fear, and negativity, you're starving your potential. But if you feed it with knowledge, wisdom, and truth, you're building mental muscle. Just as your body reflects what you eat, your life reflects what you consume mentally. You can't expect focus when you feed on distraction. You can't expect courage when who feed on fear. The mind must be trained to focus on what you can control, not what you can't. Most people waste energy worrying about problems they can't change, opinions they can't control, and outcomes they can't predict. A trained mind knows how to let go. It sees reality, accepts it, and redirects energy toward what matters. That's power, not in reacting to everything, but in choosing what deserves your attention. Daily training means testing your mental endurance. Push your thoughts the way you push your body. Step outside your comfort zone. Do hard things on purpose, because comfort breeds weakness. Every time you choose the easy way, you lose a layer of strength. Every time you face discomfort, you gain one. The mind grows through challenge, through failure, discipline, and consistency. If your mind isn't challenged daily, it's decaying silently. When you train your mind daily, you also learn emotional control. You stop being ruled by moods. You stop being manipulated by emotions, anger, fear, doubt. They will always visit, but they will not stay. The untrained mind reacts, the trained mind responds. The untrained mind seeks escape, the trained mind seeks understanding. You don't run from pain. You study it, learn from it, use it. Pain becomes your coach, not your captor. Training also means rewiring how you speak to yourself. Your inner voice can destroy or rebuild you. The untrained mind says, "Peeny can't." The trained mind says, "Mai will figure it out." The untrained mind sees failure as the end. The trained mind sees it as feedback. You can't control every situation, but you can always control your story about it. What you repeat to yourself becomes what you believe, and what you believe becomes who you are. Your mental training is tested most when life hits hardest. That's when most people break, because they only trained when things were easy. But you must train especially when things are difficult. Every challenge is a gym for your mind. Every disappointment, every rejection, every setback is a weight meant to be lifted. Each time you face pain with discipline, your mental muscle thickens. You become unshakable. Train your mind daily to seek peace, not perfection, to see opportunity, not obstacle, to create, not complain. The mind becomes what it practices, and repetition is power. You can't meditate once and expect clarity forever. You can't focus for one day and expect lifelong peace. Just as the body needs daily movement, the mind needs daily mastery. It's the daily consistency that transforms chaos into confidence. Silence is one of the best tools for mental training. Spend time alone with your thoughts. Observe them without judgment. Learn to sit in stillness without needing distraction. The stronger you become in solitude, the more untouchable you become in crowds. Most people fear being alone because they've never met their own mind. But solitude is the gym where focus, patience, and purpose are built. Train your men. Daily by setting standards. Refuse to let laziness, fear, or negativity cross your mental threshold. Be your own coach, your own commander. When your mind says, stop, push further. When it says, can't, prove it wrong. Every time you override weakness, you rewrite identity. That's how mental toughness is formed, not in comfort, but in resistance. Remember this truth: your mind will either build your empire or burn it down. Every success begins in thought. Every failure begins there too. You can't change your life until you change the way you think. And you can't change how you think until you train it daily. So wake up every day with discipline. Challenge your thoughts. Strengthen your focus. Filter your input. Control your self-talk. Train until your mind obeys you. Not your fears, not your emotions, you. Because when your mind becomes your servant, you become unstoppable. When it obeys your will, not your weakness, no failure can break you, no insult can touch you, and no ling can defeat you. Train your mind daily, because if you don't, someone else will train it for you. And the one who controls your mind controls your life. Expect nothing from others, because the moment you expect, you hand over your peace. You give others the remote control to your emotions. Expectation is the silent killer of happiness. It makes you believe people owe you understanding, loyalty, or kindness. But the truth is, no one owes you anything, not love, not respect, not help. The world doesn't bend to your hopes, it responds to your actions. Freedom begins the moment you stop expecting and start taking responsibility for your own fulfillment. When you expect, you live in illusion. You start creating mental stories of how people should act, should support you, should recognize you, and when they don't, anger grows, resentment builds. You feel betrayed by a script you wrote but never shared. The problem isn't that people failed you, it's that you gave them power they are asked for. Expectations are self-made traps. They imprison you in disappointment. Understand this truth deeply. Peace doesn't come from people meeting your expectations. It comes from you mastering your reactions. The world will not always be fair. Friends will change, promises will break, and help will not arrive when you need it most. But those moments are your tests. They teach you to stand alone. The strongest individuals are not the ones surrounded by support, but the ones who thrive even when the support disappears. Expect nothing from others, and you become unshakable. When gratitude replaces expectation, every small act feels like a blessing. When you stop demanding, you start appreciating. The man who expects nothing cannot be disappointed, only surprised. And that surprise is pure peace. It means you no longer depend on the behavior of others to define your state of mind. You rise above dependency and move into mastery. You see, expectations are rooted in ego, the ego sa. Sin, I deserve this, they owe me that. But life doesn't respond to ego, it responds to effort. When you expect, you're focused outward. When you grow, you're focused inward. The difference between frustration and fulfillment is where your attention goes. The untrained mind seeks validation, the trained mind seeks progress. When you seek growth, you outgrow neediness. The greatest freedom comes when you realize you don't need anyone to complete you, praise you, or prove your worth. You are enough, with or without approval. You can work in silence, love without attachment, and give without expectation. That's real power. Because the one who expects nothing cannot be controlled. You can't bribe or break someone who stands tall in self-sufficiency. Every disappointment you've ever faced started as an expectation. You expected loyalty from those who only offered convenience. You expected honesty from people who lied to themselves. You expected effort from those addicted to comfort. You expected depth from the shallow. And every time you felt pain, not because they failed, but because you expected them to be someone they weren't. Expecting the sun to rise in the west will only leave you in darkness. Instead of expecting, observe. Watch how people act when there's nothing to gain. See who stays when the benefits disappear. Observation builds wisdom, expectation builds pain. When you stop expecting, you see reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. And that clarity gives you peace. Because peace is not found in perfect people, it's found in perfect detachment. This doesn't mean you stop caring or disconnect from humanity. It means you stop attaching your emotional balance to unpredictable people. You can love deeply, help sincerely, and support fully, but do it because it aligns with your values, not because you want something back. True strength is giving without the need to receive. When your actions come from purpose, not payoff, you become limitless. Expect not. Heing from others, but expect everything from yourself. Expect yourself to show up, to stay disciplined, to rise again after failure, because the only expectations that lead to growth are the ones you place on your own shoulders. Hold yourself to high standards, not others. The world rewards those who demand excellence from themselves, not those waiting for others to meet their emotional needs. Every time you lower your expectations of others, you raise your peace. You stop chasing apologies. You stop waiting for recognition. You stop wasting energy on people who don't value your effort. You become self-contained, powered by purpose, not approval. That's when your life transforms. You stop being reactive and start being intentional. You stop being a victim of behavior and become the architect of your own stability. Remember, people change, circumstances shift, and promises fade, but your mindset must remain anchored. The person who relies on others for peace is like a ship without a rudder, tossed by every wave, but the person who relies on inner strength becomes the calm in every storm. When you expect nothing, you become unoffendable. Insults lose weight. Disrespect loses power, because you no longer need anyone's behavior to validate your worth. You've taken back your control. That's why the strongest people are often the most peaceful. They learn to expect nothing, and therefore nothing disturbs them. Make this your daily practice. Give freely, love purely, help willingly, and expect absolutely nothing in return. The return will come from life itself, multiplied in ways you can't imagine. The energy you give without expectation always returns through new doors, new people, new opportunities. Expect nothing from others and everything from the power within you. When you operate from that state, you rise above manipulation, disappointment, and emotional chaos. You move from dependence to dominance, from reaction to direction. Because peace doesn't come from control, it comes from release. And the one who expects nothing from others owns everything within. Forgive fast, move faster, because holding on slows you down. Every grudge, every resentment, every replay of the past becomes a chain on your mind. You think you're punishing the one who hurt you, but you're only poisoning yourself. Forgiveness isn't weakness, it's intelligence. It's the decision to stop giving yesterday power over today. The longer you carry pain, the heavier your soul becomes. Forgiveness isn't about approval, it's about release. It doesn't mean what they did was right. It means you are done letting it control your peace. You're not saying it's okay. You're saying it's over. Because every minute spent reliving an insult is a minute stolen from your destiny. You can't reach the next level while dragging the ghosts of the last one. The past can't hurt you unless you keep feeding it attention. When you forgive fast, you break emotional patterns that destroy potential. You stop reacting, you stop overthinking, you stop replaying conversations in your head that no longer matter. You begin to understand what's done is done, but what's next is yours to create. Forgiveness is a declaration of power. Sin may have hurt me, but you will not own me. That mindset is how warriors think. They get hit, but they keep moving forward. Moving faster doesn't mean ignoring the wound, it means healing through action. It means taking the lesson and running with it. Every pain contains a message. Every betrayal contains a direction. The ones who wronged you were simply teachers in disguise. They taught you who not to trust, what to protect, and how strong you really are. Don't curse them. Thank them silently and move on. They served their purpose, now let them go. Many people waste years waiting for closure that never comes. They wait for apologies, explanations, or justice. But waiting is a trap. Closure is not given, it's created. You close the chapter the moment you decide to stop rereading it. The one who hurt you may never understand your pain, but that's not your mission. Your mission is progress. Every time you revisit old pain, you slow your own evolution. Forgive fast, because the faster you forgive, the faster you grow. The strong do not hold grudges, they hold focus. They know that emotional weight slows execution. They refuse to carry the unnecessary. That's why their energy feels different, clean, centered, unstoppable. When you live free of resentment, you move through life lighter, clearer, and sharper. The mind that forgives quickly stays open to new opportunities. The heart that lets go easily stays open to love. Forgive fast, because anger blinds you. When you stay bitter, you see everything through the lens of pain. Every new relationship feels risky, every chance feels suspicious. You start expecting betrayal where there is none. You begin to sabotage your own blessings because you're still living from old wounds. But forgiveness clears the fog. It gives you new eyes to see, new strength to act, new space to breathe. Moving faster means you stop waiting for emotional perfection before taking action. You stop saying, "I'll move on when I feel better." You move first, the feeling follows. Waiting for the pain to vanish before you act is how people stay stuck forever. Motion heals emotion. Every step forward steals power from the past. Every goal you chase replaces bitterness with purpose. That's how you transform pain into progress. There is a secret truth. Forgiveness doesn't change the past, but it changes your future completely. The pain will still exist in memory, but it will lose its power over your movement. You'll remember, but you won't react. You'll see their name, but feel nothing. That's real victory, emotional neutrality. To reach that, you must practice forgiving fast every single time you're wronged. Small or big, let it go quickly, because peace doesn't come from revenge, it comes from release. Forgiving fast also means forgiving yourself. You can't build a strong life while being at war with your own reflection. Stop replaying your mistakes. You did the best you could with what you knew then. The wiser version of you now exists because of those errors. Learn the lesson, drop the guilt, move faster. Self-forgiveness isn't indulgence, it's fuel. Every second you spend in regret is energy stolen from your comeback. Don't mistake speed for avoidance. Moving fast doesn't mean running from pain. It means refusing to drown in it. Feel it, face it, extract the wisdom, and move. Life rewards those who keep momentum even after being hit. Every time you get back up quickly, you tell the universe you're ready for more. And the universe listens. Forgive fast, move faster, because time doesn't wait for healing. Opportunities don't pause while you process. While you're holding grudges, someone else is turning pain into power. Life belongs to the movers, not the mourners. And if you want to live free, you must learn to drop emotional baggage at the speed of growth. Every great leader, every unstoppable soul has mastered this. They release quickly. They understand that resentment clutters the mind, weakens focus, and poisons vision. You can't lead while looking backward. You can't rise while carrying grudges. Your future demands lightness, and that means forgiveness. So forgive fast, not because they deserve it, but because you do. You deserve peace. You deserve clarity. You deserve speed. Move faster, toward growth, toward strength, toward destiny. Let the pain be fuel, not prison. Let every disappointment sharpen you, not shatter. T removes confusion, erases excuses, and hardens focus. You cannot be defeated when you are driven by something deeper than comfort. Focus on purpose, because energy follows clarity. When you know your mission, decisions become simple. You stop asking, "Should I do this?" and start saying, "Does this serve my purpose?" That single question filters everything. The people you keep, the habits you build, the work you do. Purpose gives you focus, and focus gives you peace. The scattered mind suffers, the focused mind conquers. Distractions are the modern chains of failure. the phone, the opinions, the temptations, all are traps designed to pull you off course. But when your mind is anchored in purpose, distraction loses its grip. You stop reacting to everything around you. You stop living for validation. You move differently. Precise, intentional, unshakable. Purpose doesn't beg for attention, it commands it. Your purpose is not found in comfort, it's forged in struggle. It's born when why? Ask yourself, what am I willing to suffer for? Because purpose isn't about pleasure, it's about meaning. The person who lives for comfort will quit when life gets hard. The one who lives for purpose endures, adapts, and continues. Pain doesn't break them, it shapes them. Every obstacle becomes fuel, every setback becomes training. Focus on purpose, and you stop needing motivation. Motivation is fragile, it fades with mood. But purpose is eternal. It doesn't care how you feel, it commands you to act. It's what wakes you up early, what keeps you disciplined, what makes you relentless when others quit. Motivation whispers, "Do it if you feel like it." Purpose shouts, "Do it because it matters." The difference between average and unstoppable is this mindset. Every day you will face tests. People who mock your vision, situations that try to break your spirit, results that don't come fast enough. But when your focus is on purpose, you don't flinch. You don't argue with doubters, you prove them wrong through consistency. You don't chase validation, you chase growth. Because purpose doesn't seek applause, it seeks completion. The world belongs to those who are obsessed with something greater than themselves. When your reason is strong enough, your resolve becomes unbreakable. Purpose builds discipline, and discipline builds destiny. Focus is not about ignoring everything else. It's about remembering what matters most. Every time you say no to distraction, you're saying yes to greatness. Purpose turns chaos into clarity. It gives your suffering a direction. Without it, you'll waste energy fighting meaningless battles, arguing. Through decisions, through experience, through pain, you find it when you stop running from responsibility and start asking, what can I give? The purpose-driven mind doesn't ask, what can I get? It asks, what can I be? It acts through them. It's the reason some people build legacies while others make excuses. Purpose is not about what you have, it's about what drives you. The world tries to distract you every second, to pull you into comfort, fear, or doubt. That's why you must guard your purpose like treasure. Remind yourself daily why you started. Speak your mission to yourself every morning until it burns into your mind. Because when your focus is fixed, the noise can't move you. And remember this, purpose doesn't guarantee ease, but it guarantees meaning. You will face pain, but it will be pain that builds you. You will face struggle, but it will be struggle that shapes you. You will walk alone sometimes, but you will walk with clarity, and that clarity is worth every sacrifice. Focus on purpose, not for approval, not for fame, not for recognition, but because your life is too valuable to waste on things that don't align with your mission. Purpose gives your existence direction, your effort, meaning, and your soul peace. When you focus on purpose, no insult can shake you, no failure can stop you, and no storm can move you, because you know where you're going and why you're going there. Focus on purpose, because everything else is just noise. In the end, everything you desire, peace, power, confidence, success, begins with one decision: to focus on purpose. When your eyes stay locked on your mission, no distraction can defeat you, no betrayal can break you, no delay can discourage you. Purpose gives your pain meaning and your struggle direction. It turns every obstacle into a stepping stone and every failure into a teacher. Don't live for approval. Don't chase comfort. Don't waste your energy fighting things that don't matter. Direct every ounce of focus toward what builds you, what strengthens you, what serves your higher calling. The moment you choose purpose over noise, everything changes. Clarity replaces confusion. Drive replaces doubt. Discipline replaces delay. Stand firm in your mission. Move forward with fire in your soul. Speak less, work more, and let your results echo louder than words. because a life driven by purpose is untouchable, unstoppable, unbreakable. Focus on purpose and let everything else fall away, because when you live for what truly matters, you will never be lost again.